edition of the Sports Report. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there's a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Monday. It's Barnes, it's Tony, it's Zach, and it's the day after the Horseshoe, the day after the Open Championship, the day after Nick Dunlap prevails in Lake Tahoe, and it's the start, Tony, of the Senior Open Championship week. Can you contain your excitement?
I will do my best to do so on this Monday, Brian. But how you doing, dude?
You know, I wish there was some good Yankee stuff to talk about, honestly. And then, like, that little bit of Rick and Dave that you had on before didn't exactly make me feel any better. I'm kind of reiterating all the thoughts that I already have going on in my head.
Yeah, they had a ton of callers came were calling about the Yankees specifically today. So they were talking about it a lot, and it was actually kind of a crazy stat that he laid down that the Yankees are 9 in their last 29 games. They have 9 wins,
right?
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's awful.
I mean, this was the first team to 50 wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which is obviously a big reason.
60.
Which is a big reason why they're still, a contending team, is because of, that big cushion they set themselves up with. But nonetheless, I mean, obviously deadlines approaching. A lot of questions, dude. A lot of things have to be kind of answered here for the Yankees.
And I don't know if there really are that many questions, Tony. I think it's just more of like, we know what we need to do. Are we going to do it? Like, are we going to get the guys that we need? Because obviously we can't rely on these guys.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And everyone seemed to be really just bashing Brian Cashman this morning, too.
He's a complete idiot.
I mean, just, really rightfully so, too. I mean, he is a complete idiot. And his lack of urgency, I think, is really what's been destroying a lot of the Yankees fan base. I mean, this guy has been, what year did he GM? 96.
Yep.
So basically, as long as I've been alive, which I guess would maybe explain why he has that lack of urgency. I mean, it seems like he's never going to be going anywhere until he wants to retire, right? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. And then what about, I think the thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the farm system. What a terrible job he's done with the farm system. Nobody comes up and makes an impact. We don't even trade anybody away.
No.
And they end up being a really good player, especially from a positional standpoint. I mean, you want to talk about, like, right now, Drew Thorpe pitching well for Chicago. But there hasn't been too many examples of guys that were once, in our organization, lighting the world on fire. Same goes for Luis Medina and JP Sears, as well. So it's just like, how could you go this long and have once every 10 years, you get an Aaron Judge? And, like, are we even excited about Volpe right now? I mean, obviously a lot needs to be proven. Severino was good for a little bit. But that's simply just not enough coming through your system. And that's why the Yankees haven't won in 15 years, because they have not developed anybody in their system over in that time other than Aaron Judge.
If you had to, like, pinpoint, like, one person who's responsible, I know we're talking about Cashman right now, the lack of the farm system development, obviously the tough decisions he's made. I mean, do you think all of that will fall on Cashman at the end of the day?
No, it's Hal.
It is Hal?
At the end of the day, I mean, if listen, we could all say, oh, can Cashman just do the right thing and resign? But that's not on him. If Hal had any stones, right. I mean, Cashman's fired 5 years ago.
Probably.
So, I mean, that's what it is. You need to bring people through your farm system. And that's why these other organizations, have success. And, like, the Orioles, they won yesterday, but overall they've been going through a tough time. But why are they where they are? Because of their farm system. And it's like, I don't want to hear the excuse, well, these teams lost for a while, so they got higher draft picks. But it's like, I mean, regardless of where you're picking the drafts, like, you can't execute at all anytime. I mean, obviously that's an indictment on yourself.
Yeah, dude, and like you said, you're mentioning other teams. Even I would even point out a team like the Red Sox. Honestly, I mean, a team that
Duran
looked like they were going to
Rafaela.
maybe 30 wins all year. Honestly, dude, they ended up struggling injury,
Connor
fielding
Wong.
triple A players, and they're doing well because their farm system has some development in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's definitely something the Yankees are going to have to look at. But I mean, at this point, Brian, like, deadline's coming up. Like, are you still like all in on this year World Series, or are
you have to be?
You have to be.
I mean, everybody's delirious. All the fans are disgruntled. And you just need to change something. There needs to be a sense of accountability. Gleyber Torres shouldn't be allowed to loaf around the locker room anymore. Trent Grisham and DJ LeMahieu can't hit sub 200 and play 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, it's just, that's not sustainable. And then also too, like, even though I like guys like Cabrera and Wells and Volpe, for the most part, even though, Volpe did have 2 hits yesterday, 3 RBIs, and finally stole a base, he still hasn't done enough. So it's just like, that's an example of the farm system. Even Ben Rice too has had some big games, but also has had some bad games. And last night was one of them, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. So you have to get more from your farm system. And I think just right now, be aggressive, change up the apple cart.
So you would still, even though you do want, a better farm system, you still would be willing to trade the pieces you do have to bring in established guys to win a World Series this year.
Because where's the example other than Drew Thorpe that you traded away somebody and that, oh my God, I wish we had them.
No, you're right. You're totally right.
So why wouldn't you just go for it and just go for somebody established? And you need consistent production. And it's just like, I mean, I'm looking at the box score from Friday, so my mistake if I said some things that were inaccurate. But even with that being said, I look at, you pass Judge, batting third here, and then you got Verdugo, Torres, Wells, Volpe, Grisham, LeMahieu. I mean, why would a team even be any way nervous about facing?
No, you're not. You're not. The lineup is incredibly weak at the bottom end. You're very top heavy. Soto, Judge, great. I forget who said it yesterday. It may I forget who. Maybe Rick, honestly, the other day, maybe even. But they're saying how crazy it is how many times you have Judge and Soto that are on base and there's just no one around to bring them in.
Right.
Like that's really something unique because they're always on base and they are always on base. They're doing great, but I mean, again, like looking at this lineup, I mean, I guess arguably the 2 bigger slumps you're looking at in terms of what they're looking at this year is probably Volpe and Verdugo. One of those guys bouncing back. Who do you think it is?
I mean, you're gonna say Volpe.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Verdugo. I mean, we've been through this. Like even him bouncing back a little bit, he was never as good as we thought he was in the beginning of the year, and that's just the reality of the situation. His career numbers don't speak to that. Volpe's been a star in the minors. So I mean that's what it is.
Wow. Do you think he does bounce back, Volpe, though?
I mean, I'm sure he'll finish better than he finished last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it'll be what we envisioned in the beginning of this season.
He's leaving a sour taste in your mouth right now.
I mean, the whole team is. Judge and
but I really do feel like if like Volpe or Verdugo start to
if that,
it really I know, but
how long are you gonna wait? I mean, you've waited a month. How much longer are you gonna wait?
I mean, you got to wait as long as you can, I guess, right? I mean, you're not getting rid of Volpe, you're not getting rid of Verdugo at the deadline,
It's just I can't stand, and Josh I think alludes this in the comments, which we'll get to, but it just I can't stand the whole like, oh, they're gonna turn it around, they're gonna play better. We've waited long enough. Like that should have already happened by now, and that's why changes need to be made and people need to be held accountable. I don't think you could get away from that. Let's start with the comments though. Kev Do early and often.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And I don't have access to the comments right now. Actually,
I mean, do you want me to?
Yeah, you can rip it through. Brian.
All right. So Kev Do says, "Let's go. We want the smoke." So the traditional open from Kev Do, the boiler room, all of that. Josh B says, "What is up, fam? Happy Monday. Hashtag TCA. Hashtag Sportsport. Hashtag DTV." And then I guess this is Tommy. Coming in as random arbitist or whatever.
Okay.
Says, "Hi, Kev. Hi, Prez." Josh B says, "Tommy," and he salutes. And then Josh B saying, "Yankees are doing recent Yankee things. It's right in front of them," with the outraged emoji. And then he says, I swear every time I hear that, I want to smack someone, which is very true. And then also Tommy saying competitive at bats, which is again ridiculous. Matthew Ryan says Mets suck. Tony Yankees had a bad weekend. Get better. That's all true. Kev Deuce says Tommy. And then Josh B says that they should have traded for Castillo with Volpe when they had the chance. And then Tommy disagrees and said, I can go through a list of failed prospects, shall we? I mean, how about just everybody they've drafted the past 20 years? I mean, you take out 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, no, really. I don't know how I feel about it. You should have traded Volpe for Castillo.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Castillo honestly hasn't, he's fine, but I think we had better expectations for him, no?
Oh my God, we so much larger expectations.
He's terrible,
dude. No,
but he's not going to win the Cy Young.
But what is he have, like a 3.6, 3.5, 3.4?
Like that? Yes.
Yeah, right. Definitely. Again, like we were expecting a Cy Young contender. That's not there. I mean, again, who knows? Years upcoming. I'm sure he's still going to be a great pitcher and everything. But I think Volpe, I don't know about that one, Josh. And I do have access to the comments now.
Oh, you could read a couple of those. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah, dude. Matthew Ryan says, it's been a month. Fire Boone. And Josh B says Frazier, Bird, Torres, going through the failed prospects. There are a ton. And now, listen, I don't know what it is with the Yankees and why they have so many failed prospects. But I mean, I don't know, an organization as, traditional, I guess, with such a heritage as the Yankees. I mean, wouldn't you think that they would have like a phenomenal scouting department? Who's their head scout? Like, I would fire this guy, honestly, because like you said, I mean, like Josh B is going through all these failed prospects. And Brian was saying it, like, other than Judge, I mean, what are we looking at in terms of bringing in, homegrown guys that are, impact players? Obviously, yeah, Volpe was probably going to be the next closest one up. And it looked like he would be the shortstop, the Jeter fan, growing up in New York, whatever. But that remains to be seen. And I mean, this slump right now, like Brian's saying too, I mean, it's been, well over a month that these guys aren't producing. And you got to change up something. Matthew Ryan wants to fire Boone. He says Boone needs to go. Rather have Carlos Mendoza, he says, which is pretty interesting because obviously as a Met fan, I've been for the most part happy with Mendoza's doing. But I mean, again, with that, I don't know. The whole fire Boone thing is such like an anomaly to me because to me, at face value, it looks like the locker room and the players respect Boone. How? I don't know how. And then especially with the way, people talk about him being a puppet, just kind of doing what Cashman wants to do in terms of the lineup and kind of just going along here. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Boone is managed okay, I guess. I mean, it is, again, he's almost in the same wagon that Cashman is, though. I mean, Boone's been the manager for 6 years, let's say 6 years, 5th season, 6th season. Zach has no idea. But regardless, it's been a while, and it's, again, that lack of urgency from Aaron Boone. I mean, the fans see it, the way he talks to the media, it's always just good at bats. He's getting good contact. Well, the velo's good and whatever, and, kind of nonsense. I just, again, like it's where is that sense of urgency where it's like these two guys, Cashman and Boone, aren't working out. I mean, yes, they've made good moves. The Yankees are always competitive, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I don't know. I mean, growing up, I've heard every asshole Yankee fan saying World Series or bust. So it's like, like, what are we kind of doing here? Josh B saying, here we go. Kev Duke says Dominguez is the next failed prospect. Could be. I guess time will tell. I would say he's probably gonna be a good player here. Josh B saying they can't develop these players. And I mean, that's like a systemic issue, like, why can't you develop these players? Like, what are you doing wrong? Like, something is wrong within the organization where you're not able to develop, talent that goes through your minor league system. And it's like that's a whole point of baseball. Why do players get drafted and they spend years in the minors, only to be total busts? No, I mean, you got to do something better here, whether it is just your scouts in terms of drafting these players, or your minor league system and your minor league coaches and managers that just aren't teaching these guys how to play the right type of baseball. I don't know. Random arborist here, Tommy. What is Boone supposed to do differently on a day-to-day basis, though, with the question mark in there? Well, again, I mean, a lot of what the I guess people are saying is that he doesn't really, I guess, I don't want to say the phrase make decisions for himself, but it seems like he just kind of goes along with what Cashman wants and whatnot. I mean, I think he could have better control of the lineup. What could he do differently right now? Change the lineup up at
Change
least.
the lineup up, but even if for the stuff that he doesn't have control over, how about just from like a motivational and just like little like hints here and there to help players? Like you're telling me no manager does that? Like clearly they do. So how about just from that respect? That's why he needs to go. Because he doesn't make anybody better. He doesn't do anything to make anybody better.
And I mean, Verdugo has played above his breaches being the year, yes. But Volpe, I mean, that's someone like your manager should be able to sit down and figure something out. And obviously they haven't yet. So I mean, that thing I think should fall on the manager. But yes, like we spoke about it. I mean, the issues definitely go further up the ladder here for the Yankees organization. But at the end of the day, also I feel like Boone, I don't know. I was saying before, Brian, when you were out, like it seems like that he has respect to the locker room, but I just don't know how.
But yeah, I feel like I've said this a million times. It's like he has respect to the locker room because they could do whatever they want.
Yeah, but
of course he has respect. But come on, but that's what it is. Nobody's getting chewed out. It's like, oh yeah, no, I saw some good stuff. You got this.
Right, but how do you still like if someone did that, like I wouldn't respect that guy. If I know I can walk all over him, I don't have respect for him.
But the only thing that I could say, not that I agree with this, but just trying to look into the mindset of the players, they want to just take it upon themselves and just like not to say this awful phrase, but that they know they need to be better.
Yeah, I guess.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's any sport, it's any team. It's like, who does it fall on the most? It falls on the players. The players play the game.
No, I agree. Matthew Ryan wants Joe Girardi back.
Interesting spelling with Girardi.
Did misspell Girardi.
Having a great season in the booth, I may add, though.
I mean, of course he is, dude.
Yeah.
He's great on air.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, do you think you're going to see him manage another MLB team?
No, because the teams don't want to issue that type of control to somebody.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason why he's not right now, too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think the game is maybe moving past his.
But
mentality.
Bochy last year, I mean, that's obviously. I mean, they're champions for a reason, right?
Yeah, no, they are champions.
They all went to shit now.
It is all to shit. But I mean, I don't. I think a few of us saw that coming, but they did. I mean, that organization put everything into Bochy and they believed in his, philosophy, and obviously the players bought into it too. And so that's why they won. But I mean, that's.
And I was talking to Matt about this yesterday too. I think the biggest problem is, and it's been for years and years of this, they're trying to get away with too much and thinking like it'll be okay. Like, and it starts with at the top with the mindset. Well, it's been a long time where we haven't been able to put the pieces together to win a World Series, but Brian Cashman, he's consistent. He's in the playoffs most years. So we're going to, even though he's not doing exactly what we need to do, we're just going to stick with him.
Right.
And Boone, since he's been in his position, the team is backpedaled, but we're going to stick with him. LeMahieu hasn't been good in 5 years, but we're going to stick with him. Glaber has had one good year his entire career, but we're just going to keep running him out there every day. So it's just a lot of, we're just going to do this. We're going to continue to do that. And it's all going to be okay. And obviously, at the end of the day, it's not
okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that, you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, they're just not, it's almost like there's a sense of complacency in the fact of, oh, well, we are above 500. We are making the playoffs. We're just this close away.
Right.
But I mean, like you said, no one does anything to get to that next step, like, bringing Juan Soto was a big deal to get to that next step. But again, like obviously right now, it's not working out. You need to at least pivot somewhere.
Well, because in really though, Tony, I mean, when the offseason was going on, we did feel like there was more to do there. We wanted to see more.
Right.
And it was like, oh yeah, let's not get the best pitcher available. Let's sign Marcus Stroman. Let's not get the best outfielder available. Let's trade for Alex Verdugo. So again, like settling for less, thinking it's going to accomplish more, and it just doesn't.
I know it really is pretty crazy to think about too. I mean, I feel like coming into this year, with the Yankees having such like a great start. I mean, we were talking about how like this lineup is very different.
Right.
But I mean, like now I mean, do you think it ever really was? Like, I don't like how crazy is it that this team is like struggling now the way we're talking about
Well,
them?
because I mean, think about it though. We go back to how guys usually are.
Right.
Oswaldo Cabrera, we saw enough of the sample size. He's not anything good. He's not a starting player. We knew that. Trent Grisham, what's he been the past 5 years? Under 200 hitter. That's what he is. Anthony Volpe hit 209 last year. Yes, he's improved, but he's really struggled the last month. He's hitting 249. Verdugo, we saw he's not some type of all-star player. What do you know? He's hitting 228. Glaber, even though he had a good season last year, we knew about the inconsistencies. We knew about the lapses. Oh, yeah, he's hitting 229. Austin Wells, we've played him. We haven't played him. He's hitting 213. He hasn't produced, but we keep going with him. Rice's average is down to 211, and I am a fan of him. But he's not doing it right now. Rizzo obviously really struggled after the concussion last year. We went into the year, he's going to recover. So everything that you assumed was going to happen has not, and that's why you're going through a 9-21 stretch.
At the end of the day, which is kind of crazy because Rick and Dave were talking about this, and I think actually RJ brought it up. More likely that the Yankees end up missing the playoffs or winning the World Series. Which I think Yankees missing the playoffs, I think is kind of a stretch. I feel like I would say that it's more likely to win the World Series. But, I mean, Brian, if the Yankees do pull it off and maybe they acquire some of the deadline, whether it's like a closer, a bullpen arm, and they do kind of get over the hump, win the World Series this year, I mean, are you would you run it back again the same year, like with this lineup?
Well, it's just one of those things. Like, what do the good organizations do? They're always improvising. So nobody just runs it back. Exactly. You're always looking for a little tweak, and in some organizations, they probably could use more than a tweak, like the Rangers, for instance.
Yeah.
And the same abides here. I mean, I don't know. Looking at this team, other than Judge and Soto, positional player wise, I mean, let's face it. Like, is there anybody that we really need to keep and needs to be there? You know what I mean? It's like I'm good with saying, let's keep Volpe, let's keep Wells, let's keep Dominguez. And let's do that. But I think everybody else is dispensable.
Yeah, no, I think I would agree with that one. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what they do at the deadline, what happens at the end of the year where they fall.
But right now, I mean, it's a nightmare. And it's just, it just makes all of us angry. Yankee fans angry, and we've been angry a lot. And especially like you get that taste, like you said, in the beginning of the year, and then to do this, and then to do nothing, and then on top of that, to have to listen to Boone kind of justify it. I mean, it's really makes you want to pull your hair out.
Yeah, no, I mean that is definitely I feel like a tough aspect to the Boone justifications. But I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, I guess we'll see. I still see the Yankees bouncing back and hitting the playoffs hard and doing well in the postseason. And it should be interesting to see too when Stanton comes back, how the lineup responds and stuff like that. Because I mean, you can't doubt. I mean, it seemed to be that's when things just started to go awry. Really, is
7-10.
Stanton got injured, longer term out. As Michael is approaching here, he went past us. Actually, I thought he was gonna come right in. Never mind.
Wow, a little like fake out there.
Yeah, it's all right, dude.
And then Tommy says trade DJ for what? A ham sandwich and a bag of peanuts. Did you say trade DJ?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
did
obviously, no. Trade DJ. Come on. But obviously DJ's got to be released, Tony. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah, dude.
But can we rely on that happening? I mean, not necessarily. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays 80% of the games the rest of the season. It like continues to do bad, and they just continue to run him out there because they're idiots,
I mean, I don't know, dude. All right, let's say worst case scenario, season gets blown up, they don't even make the playoffs. Are we seeing a total changing of the guard?
I swear to God, and there would be such outrage. I would not be surprised if they still ran it back. I swear to God. No, there's like this like love affair with the power structure. Like, how gets to sit in his suite in Tampa, checking on his ponies, and then Cashman gets to have his daily commute from Rowayton, Tony, and just do whatever he wants, boss people around, not be held accountable. Could tell Boone whatever he wants. Boone it doesn't matter. Well, I'm just gonna motivate the guys. If we don't win, hey, whatever. I'm still gonna be here.
Cashman
and they just love that. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I guess Tommy wants to call in. I mean, the number's there. No. Oh, wow. I thought you were recording me. That's why. Because Michael, you were just recording maybe 5 seconds before.
Tony watched it, and
I was watching.
No, but were you not holding up your phone? I looked up. You're holding your phone. I looked down. Okay. Don't see you there.
Okay. Fair enough.
Sounds like Cashman or sounds like Boone at the press conference, dude. Yeah. No.
No, we're gonna get things together.
By the way, Tommy can call in my number ? Bottom
of the screen.
Bottom of the screen is on ticker. Ticker? Is the ticker up on the stream?
Oh, I guess it's not.
Oh, you just pop it in there, dude. That's okay. Honestly, I was really 1, 2, 5. First of all, my number, yes, my number, Josh. I mean, come on, you know the deal. Everyone's a little off today, it seems. It's Monday. It's a tough one. Really? Your shirt's on backwards. Your shoe's untied. He's wearing flip-flops.
I feel like
but yeah, Tommy can call in. Obviously, more than happy to have him.
While we're waiting for Tommy, though, why don't we go to the world?
Yeah, might as well.
Of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Skip. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So I'm guessing Tommy will be calling in momentarily. While we were waiting for him, just kind of a synopsis of where we are right now. So first series out of the break, actually a wraparound 4-game set, which you don't get too often. Saw us win 6-1, give us some optimism on Friday, but that was, ripped away.
Yeah.
The last 2 days, a 9-1 defeat on Saturday where I think, you had one hit till like the 8th or 9th inning. So here we go again. And then yesterday, you start behind the 8 ball, you make a comeback, but again, you just rely on, Judge and Soto to carry you. And it's like they produce, they do their job, but everybody else, anytime they're up, big spot, they don't come through. Nothing is going to change.
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it, dude. I mean, coming into this series, obviously, we talked about taking 3 out of 4,
now
maybe even sweeping. Now you can only split.
Same applies for the Mets, so obviously you get the feeling it's annoying.
It is very annoying.
Yeah.
The expectation coming in after the deadline, too, especially for the Yankees. You had that fucking tough loss to end the first half of the year against the Orioles,
bobble,
dude.
Clay walked the park.
Tough, dude. So obviously you were hoping that the break would help you out. I mean, it didn't really necessarily seem like it did, as I think we do have Thomas calling in here. All right, Tommy, stand by 1 second. I'm just going to patch you through on our audio board here. Zach, is the Bluetooth unmuted?
No.
If you tap on the screen. Sorry, go out of that, go back to the home, tap the very bottom of the fader. Sorry.
Where? This?
Yeah. So if you tap it, it should pop in. Oh, sorry. Let me just show you. Yeah, if you hit the Bluetooth sign. All right, I think we should have Tommy on the line.
I'm here.
Let's go.
What's going on,
How
Tommy?
you doing, dude?
Dude, first time listener. I can't believe I was missing out on the show.
Oh, great to have you with us.
Josh was breaking my chops about it.
Oh, here we go. Let's go. Yeah, call in anytime, man.
Classic Josh. What a meanie, huh?
No, he can be tough.
We give him a pass, though, right?
No, he's a great dude. You were talking about the like the developmental structure of the Yankees.
What developmental structure?
Well, all right. So first of all, you make the playoffs every year. You know, you advance. You know, divisional round, ALCS. You're picking 30. 28, stuff like that. But the other thing that I don't think they adjusted to, and I don't think this has been discussed enough, is the way the MLB changed rules on the fly. So you're trying to build teams when they had the the juiced ball years in 18 and 19, and then they pulled off. Hang on. They took away the sticky stuff mid-season. So you had been recruiting and developing pitchers that depended on really high spin rate. Mm-hmm. And it's just like every step of the way, probably the way that they were, moving guys up through the minors.
Do we lose him?
It could be maybe his service.
Could be his service. Could be our service. Phone call hasn't dropped yet, but I mean, while he's not here, the call drops.
Let's get him back.
See if we can call him back. Well, I was going to say, to what he was talking about. I mean, I understand that the MLB are making rule changes, but I mean,
it's not an excuse.
I mean, every team has to do it too. Every team
has to do it. Plus, what I'm going to get to, and I do hope that his service. Service situation straight out because I definitely want to talk about this.
Yeah, me too, dude. First time listener, like first time caller.
Yeah.
I don't know why. First day.
Yeah. Let's go.
Like, let's go, dude.
Hello.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Tommy. Maybe rough service area.
No, dude, I'm at home and I got Wi-Fi calling and I got another call and I tried to send it to voicemail and
a little slip of the thumb, dude.
So I wanted to respond to what you were saying and it definitely makes sense. And let's be real, just like every other area of the minors, they haven't done a good job developing the pitchers. I mean, sure, you're happy about Heel. But I to me, the pitching, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like they could figure it out. But I think the biggest issue is there's just never a situation where you pluck somebody from the minors, they come up, they produce right away, and they become a starter in your lineup. Like, other than Judge, who has that really happened to? I mean, sure, Volpe, we have hopes for him, but let's face it. I mean, he hasn't delivered yet. So it's just been, you can't have 15, 20 years and you develop one starting position player. I feel like that's the biggest problem. I mean, what is there, just no approach talk in the minors? Is there no strategy? Why is it that just no matter who you bring up, they don't produce?
Yeah, I mean, because I guess you could call Oswaldo Cabrera like somewhat of a success.
But a 238 that can't start and is part of our miserable offense right now. I mean, he's like a fringe roster player, honestly.
And the worst part is that we have to hear about these guys for like year after year.
Right.
How many years have you heard about Oswald Peraza?
Right.
Like how many years have you heard about Dominguez?
Right. And with Peraza, obviously Dominguez are going to play as soon as he's healthy. But with Peraza, like, why have we stuck with Jamahi Jones this long? Like, is it that? Like, I don't understand what that thought process is. And obviously, by not bringing up Peraza and then seeing him struggle in the minors on top of it, clearly his trade value is declining. I mean, you're telling me he couldn't do something better than these guys? And like Glaber, it's like, what was the thought process there? I mean, we knew that we weren't going to re-sign him. We knew he had some value going into this year. And I think it was just Cashman was just so stubborn to think that, we should be getting more for him. And that's why they didn't trade him in the offseason. And now we're paying for it because what are you going to trade him for? The LeMahieu bag of donuts?
100%. Because you remember last June? He went on a tear and they could have actually gotten something worthwhile for him.
Right.
With 1 year of control left, and they didn't do it.
Right. He was literally the second best offensive second baseman in the whole league last year. And now he's sunk into a 231 average and a 346 slugging percentage.
It's depressing. This is not putting me in a good mood for 1 o'clock when the game comes on.
No. And listen, I mean, nobody wants the Yankees to win more than me in the worst way. But I would say my confidence level of them winning, them hitting today, would be under 5%. I just feel like it's going to be a game where we're going to look at the box score. It's going to be the 6th inning. They're going to have 2 hits. They'll probably give up 3 runs in the first. Then Rodon will settle down. They'll have the bases loaded twice with nobody out and not be able to drive the runs in. I mean, how many times do we need to see the same thing?
Well, what were they down 6-0 yesterday? And then it wasn't until Judge hit the fucking absolute bomb. And you were like, if that doesn't happen twice, we're not in this game.
Right. Exactly. And it's like that at the end of the day.
I didn't know if I was allowed to swear.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, you are allowed to swear here.
The Yankees have given me no choice over the last couple of years on the show. But I think it's just a very simple thing. Like, everybody, like, when there's a down streak, like, why? Like, what's happening? And it's like, well, it's very simple. I mean, you just have, you have a lineup of 9 guys and only 2 the other team needs to even think about. The other guys, it's like they're happy to groove the ball over the plate too.
I literally can't even believe they're even like enticing the thought of pitching to Judge, because all those 2 dudes, Soto and Judge, get on base and then nobody does anything.
Right.
Why are they throwing it anywhere near the strike zone to him?
Yeah, exactly. And we're fortunate that they do that. But for me, it's just the focus is on what are we going to do, around them. And I think the reason why, we don't see a lot of moves or quick triggers on guys is because of Brian Cashman's ego. And he just doesn't want to admit a mistake. And in his mind, going into this season, the lineup was well equipped and ready to be one of the best lineups in the league. Clearly, it's not at this point. Clearly, Verdugo is falling back to even less than the player that he's been his entire career. So it's like you need to do something. You need to make some moves. And I'm worried that he's not going to do that because he has a certain price that he wants to pay. And then also the other teams can't stand negotiating with him. So that doesn't help us either.
Well, and then you have the expanded playoffs, so a lot of teams don't think they're out of it. But I wanted to ask you guys, do you think run differential is like the most misleading statistic ever, with the Yankees having the second best one? I think second or third, like right behind.
I don't necessarily think so. I think you got to just look. I think it is a good number because you have to score to win, and then you can't be giving up 10 runs a game either. And obviously that differential is so good because of the way they played, but you have a bad month, but you had 2 great months. So it's equaled out, but we're at a tipping point where all of those numbers are going to change. If like right now you don't have like a good record. And unfortunately, I just don't have any confidence that they're going to. Like I said, I don't like, who do you think out of their starting lineup is, other than the 2, big guns here? I mean, who's going to step up?
So I think Verdugo will dig himself out of it. I really do.
I mean, it would be nice.
I would love to see that.
He was helping us, but I mean, he's literally, they showed the numbers yesterday. Over this past month, he's been the worst hitter in the entire league.
Ever since after that first series against Boston,
the
right?
home run he hit at Fenway Park. Yeah.
Crazy.
And the play that he, absolutely flubbed, at the end of the
Orioles game.
The game.
Oh my God, that was so bad.
I mean, that was like that looked like Brian Barnaby in Little League, dude.
Or softball.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah,
but I think he can right the ship. I think I've waved the white flag on DJ and
in Glaber.
I don't know. I mean, Ben Rice has been really good. What do you do when Rizzo's healthy?
Oh, I mean,
you can't start Rizzo.
The only thing is, Rice, the last, I don't know, maybe just these last 3 games or whatever. I mean, I know he hasn't had that many at bats, but numbers are down at 217. So I just hope that he can keep it up. But Rizzo, or it's 211 now. I was looking at the Friday box score, but Rizzo was so bad that I don't see how Ben Rice wouldn't be the solution. And if I had to guess, I'm not really sure. But especially if Rice keeps producing, they're going to really slow pay this Rizzo injury so it doesn't have to even come to question.
And my question for you, because I do not know the answer. So a guy like Rizzo, who's been a pro for however many years, where can he do a rehab start if he needs to get warmed up? It's not like he's put down to them? Does he go down to Tampa?
Yeah, no, they will rehab in any of the Yankees minor league affiliates. It just depends on if the teams are home or not and what makes the most sense. So it's like he could rehab in single A, he could rehab in triple A. Just depends on where those teams are.
He could go to Somerset or he could go to Scranton or whatever.
Yeah. I would start him in rookie ball. I don't know. That's just me. Get the confidence up. See if he can't hit those guys, how's he gonna hit in the
No, I
majors,
like
right?
that one. Absolutely.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I'll call in again. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tommy.
Anytime, man. And let's hope the Yankees turn it around. But have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Likewise, brothers.
All right. Thank you. That was
Peace.
Tommy. What a call there, Tony, right?
Yeah, it was great, dude. First time call, first time listener, he said too, which is awesome. I guess shout out to Josh B for busting his balls about calling in.
Yes.
Always love the call-ins, dude.
Love the
it's great to
call-ins.
add another perspective, the
Love
questions,
the interaction.
Yeah, it's really what it's all about, dude.
And Josh B says we should have asked him. He said he's in the sticks of Connecticut. I wonder if he's like up by Mohegan or
Oh,
like
no
what
kidding.
the deal is. It says LOL Floreal, another example of a failed prospect. What were you gonna say?
Josh B loves talking about the failed prospects, huh?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
because it's a thing. Like
yeah, sticks of Connecticut, I guess. Yeah, Mohegan. Is that considered the sticks?
yes,
Definitely?
yes, by Eastern, yes.
An area
Tony.
you know all too well.
Too well. Blarney's Sports Bar. Everybody knows it. But synopsis here. So the only good of this past weekend, a 6-1 win on Friday. Cole jacked up, giving you 6 strong, striking out 8, only 6 hits allowed, 1 run, 1 walk. So that was the performance you wanted to see. Just over 100 pitches at 103. Bullpen did the job between Canley, between Cousins, between Ferguson. And then the lineup, you had 9 hits, but of course, 6 of those were by Judge and Soto.
Jeez.
So you take out those at bats there. And you were 3 for 24. So again, why you're not winning these tough games. Sure, it was nice to see Volpe have 2 hits himself. So then you go further, you take out those 12 at bats. And you realize that you were 1 for 20. Everybody else. I mean,
yeah,
but that's all you need to know, Tony. I mean, it's literally there's no like complicated reason as to why you're not scoring, why you're not winning. It's all right in front.
It really is crazy that they're not. The lack of urgency,
Yeah,
to me is kind of outstanding.
it is. It is.
That not nine wins in your last 29 games, right?
Yes.
We said that. I mean, that is crazy, dude. Like, how are you sitting here like that and you're still fielding this team right now?
Yeah, exactly. And then just a poetic talk. Yeah, it's terrible. And like I said, it makes you want to rip your hair out. And speaking of ripping your hair out, that's how we all felt on Saturday afternoon. A 9-1 bloodbath. Home Nestor no longer here,
Oh my
Tony.
gosh, dude.
And I mentioned the lack of offense. 1 run, 5 hits. And to top it off, you didn't score till the bottom of the 9th inning. So Nestor hammered 4 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, ERA up to 3.99. Tonkin inning in 2/3, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and then Majeski gave up 3 runs, but the game was already out of reach. But again, you can't have offensive performances like that. So that was just a terrible loss, took away all the good feel. Then you saw an opportunity to win another game here yesterday. And again, you just don't get off to a good start. And I know people kind of are harping on the pitching, and that's not to say that I don't agree that like Stroman could be better. He does have the tendency to give the long ball, which he does in the first inning here to Palacios. So that made it 1-0. Arozarena with a homer himself made it 2-0. And then you had a Caballero single after a Glaber error. What do you know? Glaber not making the right play. So you're shut out for 6 innings. So again, Tony, and you had chances with the bases loaded, with runners on. And it's just like every time we look at the box score, what they do in runners in scoring position. This one, 2 for 10, 9 left on base. You're just not going to win games that way. And it was unfortunate. And the lead grew to 5-0 in the top of the 7th with a Siri homer. And that was when they were complaining about the amount of time running around the bases.
How do you feel about that?
It's don't serve it up.
Right.
I'm
like,
just
come on,
like,
dude.
please, like, I'm not going to feel bad for the players to have to go through that. Judge hits a 3-run homer though to give you a little life, but of course, double play ensues after to get out of that inning. And then you give up another one. Luke Weaver serving up a home run here Luke Weaver serving up a home run to Caballero, made it 6-3. You get somewhat of a rally in the 9th. Judge with a chance to tie it, but early on the changeup or the slider pulls it foul. Soto doubled to score Rice to make it 6-4, but that's the score you lose by. And now you're left with an opportunity to try to split with Tampa this afternoon. Carlos Rodon on the hill in this one, but I don't know. I know like the pitching, the bullpen at times during this stretch could have been a lot better. But to me, you could tell me I'm wrong here, Tony, but I just think again, it just comes down to the offense. The pitching will work itself out, and the pitching does better when the offense produces.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. And I mean, that statement where your pitching does better when there's offensive support.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like, that happens everywhere. You know, it's that's not just, it's not specific to the Yankees. That is just something that's obvious around the MLB. So I totally agree there. I mean, especially the Yankees. I mean, there is a total lack of offense here. I don't care who's on the mound. I don't care if it's Nestor. I don't care if it's Stroman, whatever. You guys need run support regardless. Especially, I don't know, again, like the series this week. I mean, what pitchers are you facing? That's lights out.
Shane Baz.
Come on, dude. I don't want to hear about Baz, dude.
Yeah.
So the offense needs to do better. That being said, though, Nestor Cortez, dude, where are you standing with him right now?
No, I mean, he's not starting a playoff game.
Do you think that, his one good year he had was kind of one of those flashes in the pan that we see sometimes? I mean, this guy has a history of being cut from teams.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think that's going to be the best we see him? Is that 1 year and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an opportunity that he becomes steady.
Yeah.
But he'll never be at he was in the All-Star game. There was talk of him starting the All-Star game that year. Hard to think he gets back to that level. Hopefully he does. But I think he's a mid to end rotation guy.
And it's crazy because he really was great. And I mean, I think a big reason with him too, I mean, just watching him, I think he's certainly now lacking some confidence. I mean, you think about that year where he was talking about starting an All-Star game. I mean, just the way he conducted himself. I mean, the shimmy, changing up his kind of his pitching tempo to mess with batters. I don't really see him doing that as much right now. And that's probably because he's getting hit and he knows he's getting hit on. So I don't know. I guess time will tell, but I think that guy, again, another example of where's your manager helping you out. He needs a massive confidence boost that he hasn't gotten in several starts. So I guess the time, maybe jury's still out on him. But it's tough, dude. I mean, and again, something most Yankee fans probably weren't expecting is Nestor to be bad like this.
Yeah, I mean, his ERA is still 3.99, and I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm letting the pitching off the hook. But when everybody talks about the team, I really think as bad as like him and Rodon a bit at times, and Heel had his little stretch. Obviously, it seems like he's figured it out now. I really think we could win the World Series with this pitching. Like, even though it needs improvement, there's still enough there. You got to hit. I mean, what are we talking about? You have to hit. You have to score to win. That's what I keep going back to.
No, I agree with that.
Like, it's, you know what I mean? Because how many games during the stretch, not to cut you off, but how many games during the stretch have you hit and been like, well, if we pitched better this game, we would have won it? Not really.
A lot.
Like those games, like yesterday, you scored 4 runs, but you had to score one of them in the 9th inning. You had to wait for a 3-run homer from Judge. I don't like, you can't think that you could score 4 runs a game and win games. You need to be averaging over 5 runs a game.
No, I agree with that.
You're not even close to that.
I still there's something to be said like for a game though. I feel like maybe this is just me personally, but I feel like games where a team wins like 2-0, 3-2, and it's like your starter does phenomenal and your bullpen just absolutely locks it down.
Right.
I mean, I think that then the Yankees could use that. I think their bullpen, their starters need that confidence boost too. They need to get a win like that. And again, maybe, we talk about how great offense normally helps out pitchers. I mean, maybe, lineup that sees that shutout. I mean, when's the last time you've seen the Yankees win a game 2-0?
I think there was one last week or whatever, but it's
I don't know. It's just not. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But
yeah, but I don't want to see that because I'm saying I've been waiting for them to score.
Right,
where
right.
it's like you're kind of due to where you have a week where you score 10 runs 3 times.
yeah, but like, wouldn't you still want to see like Cole's next start, like 8 shutout innings? Holmes comes out in the ninth, shuts the door,
or do that.
Yeah.
But score 10 runs. Like have the pitching shut out the other team, but score 10.
Yeah, I guess you can still do that
you know,
too. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's like, I mean, it's the worst. It's the absolute worst. It just, takes the wind out of the sails, Tony. So hopefully Rodon can give us a strong performance against Littell. A 105 start here. And before we, give you this stage, I just wanted to see if we had the lineup posted. I'm thinking maybe Navarra is getting the start. And we do have lineups out. So Rice leading off, Soto in right, Judge DHing, Wells catching. So Wells getting the start again. Volpe at short, Verdugo at left, Cabrera at second. So Glaber getting the day off.
Nice.
Grisham and then LeMahieu. I don't know. At this point, I mean, are LeMahieu and Glaber the same, or do you think as bad as Glaber is, LeMahieu is even worse?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough to. I want to say that at this point, I mean, Torres probably has more errors in the field.
Right. But LeMahieu with the double play. The double play derby.
I mean, they're both freaking bad, dude. And even DJ fucks up at the field sometimes.
But have you ever seen somebody hit the ball into the ground more than LeMahieu?
No, I don't think so.
It's like there's a magnet to the ground off of his bat.
I was gonna say maybe Donaldson, but I feel like no.
Donaldson would just strike out.
Donaldson or he would like hit a fly out to left and still like think it's a home run. Yeah. Fucking God. Yeah, dude, it is pretty crazy. How do you feel about Wells in the cleanup spot here?
That's actually something I actually like, just because he's a younger guy, and I know he hasn't done well, 213 average. He does have the 6 homers, but I feel better than Verdugo batting cleanup.
Yeah, no, me too. At this point, would you separate Judge and Soto in the lineup?
No, because you need the guys that are the best getting the most at bats, so we need them. They're at the top.
But what if they were like 2 and 4 instead of 2 and 3?
Well, if they were 2 and 4, then whoever's 3, you're going to pitch to. Whoever's 5, you're going to pitch to. And then you're going to walk both. Because at least with Soto and Judge, you have the
right. You can't walk Soto to get to Judge.
Yeah.
Oh God, dude. But still, just like for the sake of change, though, I feel like
no,
it's not even worth.
No, the other guy, there's no change. The change needed is people having a pulse other than them two. I mean, that's the change. So is somebody going to do it? Hopefully. I mean, and also we've seen Volpe get a couple hits here. I mean, I know it didn't work for a while and he was better in other spots, but I think I like him better leading off than Rice. I would rather have Rice in the middle of the lineup.
I would too.
But who knows? You just want to start with a win today.
Yeah, if Rice was like 5th, I guess that would be kind of good.
Yeah, no, exactly. But a win today, and then Heel, Quintana, and Manaea Cole. So we had a good line. I think were those the 2 pitchers for the Yankees last time? They both got popped.
I know Cole was.
Popped.
And Heel was the other one too. That's right.
Heel's locked in now. Cole's locked in now.
Are they locked in?
Yeah, I mean, 6 scoreless innings for Cole, and Heel, I think, had another outstanding performance himself last time out.
Outstanding.
Yeah, no, Heel's nasty.
No, he is very good, dude.
Yeah. So that's it. But it's a terrible feeling, and I'm sure losing 2 out of 3 to the Marlins so far has been a terrible feeling for you guys as well.
Yeah, dude. I mean, same boat as the Yankees really come into the second half of the year. You want to get off on the right foot, keep it going. You were 3 games over the third wild card spot. Though. We'll get to Severino in a second. Obviously, we're going to start with Friday, the tough loss, 6-4. And again, I hate to be the guy, putting all the blame on one guy. But again, Manaea starts this game here. And I mean, coming into this game, you're very confident. I think, his last 3 starts before Friday probably went 7 innings twice, 6 innings in the other start, eating up the innings, limited runs given up, which is always a phrase you like with a starting pitcher here. Manaea, 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, only 1 strikeout. Just looks so hittable. I mean, I honestly, I don't know what the deal was with him. But, I mean, the scoring started early and often with the Marlins. I mean, give me a freaking break here. It was such a tough way to start off the second half of the year. I am so sick and tired of seeing Jake fucking Berger hit home runs against the Mets,
Not by just picking him
going
up for
2
fantasy.
for 4, like on a night. Like, he sucks, dude. Give me a freaking break. And then on top of that, same boat where it's like, yes, the Mets score 4 runs. You don't really necessarily want to blame the offense when your star is giving up 5 runs and your bullpen locks it down. But nonetheless, you can't score more than 4 runs against the freaking Marlins, dude. Against freaking Cabrera, who has an ERA that's like 6 on the year. I mean, it's ridiculous, dude. Cabrera goes 4 innings and 2/3, untouched, basically. He's a 1 earned run. The scoring we'll get to. How do we get there? Marlins started off, bottom of the second. Edwards, RBI single here. A throwing error by, I guess they called it on Jeff McNeil. Which, you know, I guess that was kind of tough. I think he was kind of, you know, McNeil made a tough throw. I kind of like McNeil in the outfield. I think he's been progressing there in the right field. Defense, honestly, is the only thing McNeil's been fucking good at. And I think he actually had a dinger in Friday's game, but we'll get to that in a second. Nonetheless, you know, the Marlins go up 1-0 early on, the throwing error, whatever, dude. And then a sac fly RBI scores Sanchez at that point, 2-0. Manaea ends up getting out of the second inning, but doesn't really, you know, I guess, seem any better the next time out, bottom of the third, still giving up runs here. Jake Berger, you know, after giving up, I think, a leadoff hit to Chisholm Jr. over there. Berger, I think, gets an RBI double there, scores Jazz, and then Josh Bell. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Josh Bell is another guy. Tired of seeing him hit well against the Mets. He gets an RBI single, scores Berger, just like that. By the third inning, you're down 4-0, dude. And then, like, just like you're saying, talk about getting the win completely taken out of your sails. I mean, 3 innings of this game, you're down 4 runs. And as I was saying, Cabrera was pitching well against this Mets lineup. But Jeff McNeil does start something here at the top of the 5th. Solo shot, 400 feet, right to center, which was great. Made it 4-1 right there. JD Martinez, after a couple of, you know, back-to-back base hits, gets a sac fly RBI to score Lindor, 4-2, just like that. But in comes Jake Berger in the bottom of the 5th to stop any momentum. A home run for him off of Manaea, and that was all she wrote for Manaea at that point. But it's 5-2 there, which is really tough because if you think, oh, if you don't give that solo shot right there, you would have tied it the next inning because McNeil hits his second dinger of the night. It was a 2-run dinger to make it 5-4, just like that. So it's top of the 6th. You've seen Mets come back late in games before. Within 1 run, you think Miami's bullpen, you can definitely, you know, hang on here. They hang on, actually. The Marlins hang on. Their bullpen, they use, like 6 different bullpen guys to get through this Mets rotation here, the Mets lineup. And I don't know, man. I just feel like the Mets were getting fooled. A lot of those Marlins bullpen guys, yeah, they'll throw some off speed there, you know, low in the way, typical. But I feel like so many batters in the lineup were chasing high fastballs and just hitting under it or behind on the fastball. And it's just like, why are you chasing? And why are you chasing these fastballs? Just honestly, just wait for a better pitch at that point.
Yeah, lack of patience.
Literally lack of patience, maybe lack of pitch recognition. But nonetheless, they get absolutely nothing going for the last 2 innings. Literally, like, ridiculous. And then on top of that, you know, Nunez gives up a run to make it 6-4 right there. That's your final score for Friday. So tough start, you know, but regardless, you're moving on to Saturday, which was the only bright spot of the weekend for the Mets. A 1-0 victory.
Luis Severino.
Efficient, effective dude. 6 innings he pitched. I think he had 8 Ks, maybe 7 Ks. Gotta double check here. Hold on, where's this box score I had? 7 Ks, 3 walks, only 2 hits over those 6 innings, threw 91 pitches too. So, like, pretty efficient, borderline thinking bringing him out there for the next inning. I'm glad Mendoza didn't, though, because he honestly probably would have given up a run, which obviously would have probably lost the game because he only scored 1 anyway. But honestly, this gets me riled looking at that line for Sevy. And then again, your bullpen guys, Buteau out of the bullpen, Nunez, Diaz. I mean, those 3 bullpen arms came in and they dominated. I understand it's the Marlins lineup, but nonetheless, you love to see that. That's something I've been praising Mendoza for. And Diaz is looking pretty solid too. He had 1 inning clean, 12 pitches, 1 strikeout, no hits.
Now,
no walks.
I mean, obviously the other thing than, you know, winning a game, but
Right.
for Severino, I mean, are you only really excited just thinking about the trade value?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I heard Rick and Dave talking about it, and it seems like Rick didn't want to get rid of Severino. They were almost like entertaining the idea of signing him for another year.
Which you're vehemently opposed to, or
Oh my! I mean, it's just so annoying, these decisions,
you
dude.
think you're falling into the
Of
trap.
course,
Yeah.
dude. But I fucking know he's gonna suck. He's definitely gonna blow it next year. Like, probably gonna be trash. Like, ERA above a 5.5, dude. Yeah, honestly. It's so tough because he literally is your best pitcher right now for the Mets, like by far, it seems. So I think jury's still out, but right now I'm just again like trying to think with my brain. I would still trade him.
What about you, Zach?
Shut down mute the mic. I don't know. I think right now he's playing super well for us.
Mhm.
So it's hard to be like, oh, dump him. But I mean, I've been very like steadfast. Like, I want a whole new rotation.
Right, exactly.
Outside
Yeah.
of Senga, obviously.
Yeah.
Because that's an investment we have to stay with. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't want to like fall for anything and then have him come out next year and just be completely flat. But I am impressed with him. Like, I thought he played great the other day. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
No, you gotta be super happy with it, but
There's the outside chance that this could be a renaissance and it could be something where he's going to be a solid pitcher next couple of years. But if there is that opportunity to get a couple guys with promise,
right.
you're going to do it. I guess it just comes with like, if the trade market just isn't there
Yeah.
and it's so marginal, it's guys that are not even in the top 20s of their organizations. At that point, are you reconsidering, or is it just you'll take anything?
No, I wouldn't take anything. Because he does pitch well. But I would also be surprised if another team wasn't like gonna throw out an enticing offer, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's gonna be like, if he goes to another team, he's gonna be a great guy in your rotation.
Yeah, it's interesting to think. But yeah, I mean, I would think you'll get some type of return. I don't think it'll be like an amazing return.
No, it won't be.
But if I mean, and really, are you just want 2 pitching prospects or something like
That would be great. Like Zach
Yeah.
said, I'm on board for a new rotation because
Yeah.
you need it desperately.
Yeah.
Would you take him on the Yankees?
No.
Not even for just the rest of the year? Just really? All right,
He
nonetheless.
blew it last year. He had a 7 ERA.
Yeah, no, I know, but it doesn't matter. Let's move on to Sunday here. Let's get through this because Sunday was so fucking tough too.
6-4.
Loss.
6-4 loss on Sunday yesterday. No.
Wasn't 6-4? Thought it was.
No, it was the 4-2 loss. 6-4 was on Friday. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We had Christian Scott on the bump to start here for the Mets. And again, talking about wanting some pitching prospects. I mean, Scott really hasn't been working out. I think his first start, Zach, was against the Braves, maybe, where he did well. Yeah. Right? And then other than that, I mean, Zach said it perfectly, I think, before the show. Scott, like, labors through some of these innings, does give up hits early on in games, gets out of jams, but then by the 4th inning, he's just either too tired, pitch count too high, gets himself in another jam, can't get out of it, gives up runs. His final line, 4 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 Ks, only threw 75 pitches too. But again, like, his stuff was just looking hittable. It seemed like he was trying to mimic, honestly, what the Marlins were doing with his fastball and hammer a high rising fastball, which sometimes worked, but I don't think maybe just the velo isn't as high as he thinks it is, or the movement on it isn't as much as he thinks, because he was getting hit pretty bad, which is why obviously he had the 3 earned runs. You do get Hauser in there for 2 2/3, which is fine. But again, as I mentioned, with the scoring, I mean, it was just too much too early, I suppose. And it's funny because the Mets, do score first with a sac fly, I think, by Terrence. I think maybe he scored whatever in the 4th. So they're up 1-0. But like I said, it's just almost like Scott's on the mound. He's a ticking time bomb. It's just a matter of when he's going to start to have that blow up inning. And he did in the bottom of the 4th. Gave up 3 runs there, courtesy of Jazz Chisholm. 3-run dinger, dude. Listen, I mean, he is that electric player. We talked about it. I mean, he does have the talent. He's got the swag, the look, the everything like that. But I question his attitude a little bit.
So you would say stay away?
Yeah, I would, especially because he gets injured too.
Yeah.
Like, he does have a tough time staying healthy. He's on a good stretch now. But I don't know, man. I'd be interested to see what he's like in the locker room. And if he can stay healthy. Again, he's got that good that good look, the speed, the good glove, the bat, like he's got that look that you want in a good player. But But I don't know. I do, like I said, I question the attitude, the ethic. I'd be interested to see what other scouts talk, how they talk about him. But nonetheless, so after that, you're down 3-1. Obviously tough about Scott. That, like, it really does kind of boil up to just a 3-run homer is what he gave up. But again, I mean, if you don't get yourself in the jam in the first place, then there is no home run. Even if it's a solo shot, like that's fine. But Martinez, top of the 5th here, RBI single to score Harrison Bader, dude.
Harrison.
But other than that, couldn't really get much going there. And of course, tight game. It's 3-2, bottom of the 7th. Jake motherfucking Berger hits another solo shot, little insurance run there. You might as well, dude. The guy seems, honestly, if anything, just get him for the series against the Mets, honestly.
Yeah.
And then drop him, okay? Because it's kind of ridiculous. He just bats so well against the Mets. And that was off of Adrian Hauser, by the way, that home run from Jake Berger. But I mean, you want to look at the rest of the box score here. Again, you score 2 runs. The same deal in this game too. Chasing the high fastball, you're swinging at absolutely nothing, dude. I mean, these balls, half of them are above the strike zone,
right? And
you're swinging at them. It's like, what are you really doing, dude? Ioannis had no hits. Vientos 2 for 4. Iglesias 2 for 4. But other than that, you really didn't have much else. As a team, you struck out 14 times yesterday, and that was, like I said, kind of a theme for the entire weekend. I forget, I had the stat in my head for the whole weekend, but yesterday you were 1 for 9 runners in scoring position. Another theme throughout the weekend as well, just not able to bring runners in. And for a team like the Mets, that their bats were so hot. Again, Zach and I talked about it before the show too. It just seemed that the deadline really cooled those bats off. The Mets had a very jam-packed schedule going into the deadline. So just had that type of just like, we have another game tomorrow. Can't even think about mistakes or whatever. So I think that's why they were hitting well. They were just on that roll sort of deal. Deadline, week off, whatever. Alonso sucked at the whole All-Star thing. So I don't know. It just seems like the bats are quiet. Hopefully something could, get, lit up, a fire underneath their behinds tonight, because you're going to need some run support here. You're going to need run support for sure. We know that, and they got to figure it out, dude, because you can't be dropping 3 games to the Marlins right now. I mean, it's not how you want to start this second half of the year right now. You're still 2 games over the wild card spot in hand, but you don't want to get this out of hand. You do have, I guess you could say, Yankees struggling, but still, that could easily be you lose both games. Braves, lots of injuries here. We know that, but still, the Braves have overcome that before. They still have a solid lineup. So you do have like a tough schedule, these next 2 series. You don't want to fall behind, go under 500, God forbid. So you got to figure out, just stop chasing those fastballs. Your starters have to give you, please, I don't even care if it's 5 innings, honestly, tonight. As long as it's just 1 earned run, that would be great. Bullpen comes in. They've been great so far. You got to love that. So at least, the guys that I've mentioned anyway. But for Christ's sake, you gotta win this game. You gotta split this series. Yeah.
I mean, and you're thinking Peterson gives them 5, but can you hit Chirinos? Is that who's starting?
Actually, I'm not sure if it is him. Peterson, I would imagine, can do 5. Kind of, you want to hope for 6 out of him. Let's see. It is Chirinos.
Yeah, whose numbers aren't
5.76 ERA, 0-1 here. Doesn't have a ton of innings pitched here. I guess he was injured for a little bit, but over 25 innings pitched, give it 5 home runs. I mean, come on, you can definitely hit him. 34 hits over those 25 innings too.
Yeah,
the guy is hittable. You should be able. Hopefully, it's not a fucking 1 for night risp over there. And for Christ's sake, can Alonso hit a home run?
Yeah,
I mean, come on, dude. He had one, I think, on Saturday ago, or maybe it was yesterday. That went on the warning track, ends up being nothing. But I feel like he's been sitting in the high teens in his home run count for I don't know, 2 months.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude.
What do you think's going to happen there? I mean,
Alonso?
Yeah. I mean, is he doing so poorly where there's not, they might not trade him?
Oh, God, I hope not.
But,
I think he's going, dude.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
Yeah. I mean, it makes too much sense.
I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to see it.
You hate to say it, hate to see it, but you have to.
I know, exactly, dude. It's just one of those things where it's like, what are you gonna do? Do you want this guy keep going out there and have a terrible shit average and really not hit as many home runs as you would have wanted to? I mean, not for nothing. I feel like the guy was, up in the like top 2 of home run count the first, 6 weeks of the year.
Yeah, and then it's just done nothing.
It's totally quiet, dude. And I guess his average has been building up a little bit. I think his average is up to 240 now, but come on.
A couple of comments here. Tommy's saying he's from northern Fairfield County, by the way. So actually closer than we think. I'm guessing that means like Brookfield or something.
I don't know. Where does Fairfield County end?
I'm not sure the exact boundaries. I know like Milford starts New Haven County, I believe, right?
Right? Yeah.
Josh B says he takes Sevy to replace Holmes and he'll like it.
Really, dude?
I just don't want Sevy. I understand it.
I'll do Holmes, Sevy straight up.
And then Tommy says get Kopech from the White Sox. I mean, I like that, but again, I'm not focused on it. But if you're not giving up the kitchen sink, I'm fine with it. Josh B says definitely likes Kopech a lot. And then he also says Yankees should try to sign Bauer for league minimum as well.
Bauer.
Again, I want to hit.
I don't know, man. Bauer a little bit, dude. It was slipping, dude. Because I know I was a big proponent coming into this year for someone to sign him, specifically the Mets. Honestly,
but if nobody's signed him, I think
there's got to be a reason why.
It's like a Kaepernick blackball situation.
There's got to be a reason why. Yeah. And again, you want to talk about bad attitudes? We've seen Trevor Bauer act like a fucking maniac. When he was on the Reds, I guess.
Yes.
No. Was it the Guardians?
Francona.
That was when he threw the ball over center field. That was crazy, dude. Yeah. And honestly, like he's in whatever like Mexican league now.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I see videos of him and he's like calling his pitches and being all, I'm gonna go lower, slide or whatever, and striking people out. But it's like, dude, like who are you even pitching against, dude?
Yeah. No, it just doesn't seem like it's a good locker room thing. But like I said, we got to get the offense going. Hopefully that starts today. What will happen today, we will find out in a full-on abbreviated
Let's freaking go.
Baseball frenzy. Tony, ill-prepared.
I got to hear iPad open, baby. Let's freaking go. It's Monday. It's a new week. It's late.
Standing update, by the way. No. What are you going to say? It's late what?
July.
Late July. I made up a little ground, so this is a dogfight here.
God damn it.
You are 61-45. I'm 58-48. So on the heels, Tony. Let's go. You're going to start with the Mets, but is it the right move? Is it the right pick? Is David Peterson the right pitcher on the mound?
David Peterson is the right pitcher on the mound. I'm telling you right now, the bats in New York, Queens, that is, going to be heating up tonight in Miami here. I think that's going to be really your number one course of victory here. When I look at the stats here, excuse me, the Mets obviously favored at -150. Your total is 8.5. I'm telling you right now, you can quote me, Josh, Tommy, whoever. Mets are hitting the over by themselves tonight. I'm thinking dingers all around. Absolutely kidding me with Chirinos, all right? I think this is the time, like I said, the bats return to like they were going into the All-Star break. You're looking at Alvarez starting, dinger, bang, Vientos, dinger, Lindor, dinger, Alonso, 20th home run of the year. Even sprinkle probably a JD Martinez dinger in there as well. And the balls, flying out of this park early and often. Peterson, a chill. I'll give you him 6 innings, 2 earned runs from Peterson, looking pretty mean. His last 2 starts have been solid out there, improving the ERA, by the way. Bullpen locks it down. I say Mets go on to win the last game here. My first pick today, I'll say by a tune of 10-3, Brian.
The delusion, Tony.
Oh, come on.
If I had access to the board, I would have
Mets in the over. Mets in the over.
That soundbite. Mets in the over is ridiculous. That's like taking the Yankees in the over. And imagine laying -175 on the Yankees right now. I can't fathom it.
That is kind of crazy.
As much as I want to see it, I have to watch from afar on that one. But let's just say for the Yankees to win a game, what's the first thing you think of? You have to pitch well. Mm-hmm. The offense is going to, tooth and nail to get 4 runs maybe to win the game. So that obviously makes the under automatic. And I would say I'm going to just hope and pray Rodon can give us 6 scoreless innings, striking out 9, pumping the chest, Tony. And
Delusion, Brian.
and I guess Juan Soto, maybe a first inning 2-run homer, kind of ease the offense. Bullpen, lights out. Holmes finally gives us an easy 9th, and the Yankees win this game. I'm going to say 3-1. So it's the Yankees and it's the under.
Love that, dude. I think my second pick here, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh here. Pirates taking on the Cardinals. This is, I think, game 1, of a 3-game set. Second time, actually third time these two teams are facing each other. Mitch Keller on the mound for the Pirates. Last I saw him pitch was against the Mets. He went 8 innings, I think 2 earned runs, pitching really well here. So I'm going to go with the Pirates, who I think on this season here, St. Louis actually leads the series 4-2, but nonetheless, the Pirates, I think, went on a little hot streak, lost to the Phillies that shut out. I think it was yesterday, 6-0, something like that. But I think a little reset there. Mitch Keller, stellar performance. Another 8-inning performance for him. And I just think for the Cards, I mean, their pitcher on the mound. Oh, God, I just had it up. Who is it? Palante, dude, with an ERA above a 4-4 record. We'll have to rely on some offense. I don't think the Cards are going to have it. Give me the Pirates and give me the under 8.5 here, by the way. Actually, they win this game. I'll say 5-3, just on the under there, Brian. Let's go.
All right. I had you penciled in for the under. It's like I know a thing or two, and I do know that the Los Angeles Dodgers are 6-3 against the Giants this year. And the Giants are pitching batting practice himself, Blake Snell, tonight. And I know the Dodgers are hot. They have an unannounced pitcher for this one. But I just think Snell hammered Ohtani and Freeman doing damage early, often. This is my only over of the night. Give me the Dodgers in the over. I'm going to say they win 8-4. So the Dodgers in the over.
I like that call right there. I think I'm gonna go on a little bit of a limb here. I mean, honestly, they're not even that much of an underdog, I guess. All right, I'll do it. Why not, dude? Give me the White Sox tonight. They're gonna be on the road in Texas. We're just talking about Bruce Bochy and company here. First time these two teams are facing each other. White Sox, I think, are on like a 7-game lose streak or something like that.
Fetty Wap on the mound.
But Fetty on the mound, killing it. 7-3 on the year. Great record. ERA below a 3 right now, which is phenomenal. Matched up against Michael Lorenzen, who we've seen struggle in the past. We've seen the Rangers have a lack of offense, which I do think you'll see here tonight against, Eric Fetty here. The White Sox, I think, will pull it out here. They're plus 145 on the money line. Sprinkle a couple shekels up there, Brian. Might be a nice payday. Over-under is 8.5. I think this is going to be an under here, and I see the White Sox win this game 4-1. White Sox in the under, they win 4-1. Fetty dominant. Let's go. Do lack of offense. Rangers suck. Let's go.
Was going to take a stab at the Phillies and the Twins, but it's kind of too hard to decipher there. So I am going to move my attention here. This is tough.
Move
Tony.
my attention here.
I'm going to move my attention to the Cincinnati Reds. Playing the Braves. Albie's injured. Team really in shambles this year. The injuries, the lack of offense. They just lost 2 out of 3 to St. Louis. You look at the Reds, they've lost 4 in a row. But I think Hunter Green dialed in 6 innings, 12 strikeouts. I think Ellie De La Cruz hitting for the cycle in a 3-1 Reds victory. So it's the Reds, the under, just like that. Full-on abbreviated baseball frenzy.
Bang.
Wins needed for both New York teams today.
What are the records at for us for the picks right now?
So I am 58-48. You're 61-45. So you have a 3-game lead. I feel like at one point it was like 12. I want to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's go. Eric Fetty, baby.
I mean, it wasn't that crazy of a pick though, just because Fetty's been doing well.
Yeah.
So.
And the Rangers.
The Rangers are just.
Oh my goodness, atrocious, dude.
I guess it's just complacency, lack of urgency.
Yeah.
Syndrome.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's all those things, and I mean, talk about a team who like really went all in on their acquisitions last year. Didn't renew a bunch of contracts too because they're just the 1 year rentals to win the World Series. So I don't know. I guess you expected it, but I didn't expect them to be this bad offensively, at least.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They can turn it around.
And then so it's Ridgefield where Tommy lives, and Josh says,
no way.
bench Pete Alonso, got it. And then Matthew saying, I wouldn't mind seeing the Yankees sign Bauer. Hey, Bonds. And then Tommy says 20th home run for Pete. Cute. Josh B laughing and saying Bauer and Hawk Tua need a date together, cracking up. And then
yeah, Josh.
And then I don't even know what that means, honestly. And then
you haven't heard about the Hawk Tua girl? You must have seen her, dude.
No.
Really?
I don't pay attention to that stuff. Come on.
All right. I mean, I can get into it if you want me to get into it.
Is it something I'm just gonna be annoyed about?
Definitely, dude. Yeah.
You can't say it in 30 seconds.
All right. So she was, one of those random guys, just interview for his Instagram page, whatever, funny, asking, women in New Orleans out at the bar, whatever. They were asking something about like some sex stuff.
Okay.
And she says, you got to like Hawk Tua, as in like spit on dick. Okay. That's what she says. All right. Got famous, like literally book deal, merch, tour, podcast everywhere, just talking about it, which is kind of crazy. I mean, yes, good for her making money. She seems like a nice girl, I guess. But still, I mean, you're getting famous for whatever it is. So that's that. I mean, I can see the parallel. Obviously, Josh B alluding to Bauer and his acquisition.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, stretching the line there, definitely.
Josh B is stretching it, but listen, it's Monday morning. Everyone's a little bit off today on the Monday mood for sure. So Josh B, clean up, Josh. Come on, man.
Josh saying, bro, you're on IG. You haven't seen this. And it's just because, like I said, if it's not sports related, I'm not paying attention.
I mean, I think Brian's For You page is all Yankee stuff. So come on. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just, even though that's obviously tough to navigate through right now, but it's just, you get, I mean, I guess the trade deadline is everything because that's what it is. It just sucks though. It really does. I just want to, I mean, I'm enjoying the summer, but I could be enjoying it a lot more. There's a lot more winning and hitting and runs, and there's just none of it, Tony. And I'm tired of it. At the end of the day, I'm just tired of it. And it's you definitely wake up with a negative feel when you get up in the morning. I mean, it's hard not to, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that one. But like you said, I mean, I'm looking forward to this trade deadline. I think it's going to be like one of the better ones we've seen. And honestly, last year was cool with all the changes we saw. But this year, I feel like it's going to be great for our teams. No?
Yeah, but you really have. I mean, what do you think the Yankees are going to do?
I think they're going to go out and find a replacement for DJ at third base.
So they're going to get a third
baseman and a bullpen arm, and I think that's going to be it, 2 pieces.
But would you say scratch the bullpen arm and get 2 offensive pieces? Better.
I don't know, man. I mean, like World Series bullpen. I'm a little worried.
Yeah, no, but don't you think though? You say 1 offensive guy, but it really should be 2.
It should be 2, yeah. But I think they're gonna do 1 and 1.
Who? There's got to be somebody, and it can't be Matt Chapman. It shouldn't be Ryan McMahon, right?
No, I'd have to look at some available third basemen, but
like I feel like I'd rather have Ryan McNeil than Ryan McMahon, honestly.
I would too. Maybe they just replace Glaber and get like a second baseman.
Don't even say it.
Jose
Iglesias, he's gonna hit 120.
No,
the rest
he's
of
not,
the season.
Dude. That's crazy talk.
Come on, Zach. Isn't he too raw for Iglesias? I've looked at the box scores. I've looked at the numbers. No way it's sustainable.
I think that he's been like he's kind of injected some life into our team for sure, over the past couple of months. But I don't think over like a long period of time that he's going to be that way.
Yeah,
but
we've seen this a lot.
But I mean, I think is he 32 years old? I think something like that.
Least.
Been around the league. I think for a team who's looking to win the World Series and bet on the guy for that year, I think he's a perfect fit.
Yeah. So maybe we'll talk about Victor Gonzalez. Josh B says you sound so defeated. I am.
He is. It would be cool to see to a trade, but I don't know. Again, I
To
don't
the
know.
Yankees and the Mets.
Yeah,
The Mike Stanton, Felix Heredia deal.
Miguel Castro.
Both McMahon and Chapman on Josh B's fantasy team. I mean, we have a 10-team league. Josh.
Bench them
Why you-
both,
I mean,
dude.
no, McMahon, the homers, it's worth it. But Matt Chapman, I feel like he's really going through it.
Kenley
no?
Jansen still a free agent,
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, it's just, I guess, more pitching than hitting. I don't know.
I don't know. Josh B, what place are you? What are you in, like 5th, dude?
No, I think he's in
Third?
third. I think he is in third. I think he's been climbing up the
That's not
leaderboard.
sustainable. He's gonna be down in the dumps soon, probably. Dude.
I need a good week this week, but
Honestly, me
hopefully we
too,
get
dude.
that.
Like I've lost back-to-back weeks right now. I'm having a little bit of a lack of offense too. But nonetheless, I'm playing a licky boom boom.
Anthony Brander.
That is Brander. I thought so. He's got some good guys, I guess.
I'm versus Riley. Who
Really?
Is
He's a bum.
He's 95 and 104 right now. So he really fell off the map.
I know, dude.
You think
He's
he
in
doesn't check
6th
his
place.
I
Now.
think he doesn't check his team. Maybe.
Yeah, probably. Well, he started the GA position 2 at Shoe, so he's probably super busy now. And I'm sure trying to still get in like the road, but go back to Rhode Island, the beaches, the babes, the beers.
Oh
you know?
yeah. No, Devers is on his bench. He probably hasn't checked his team in weeks.
Yeah, dude. He's a loser. Everybody knows it.
Wow, dude. I can't believe it. I thought he was like all into it and stuff. Didn't it seem like it for a little bit?
Yeah, honestly, it really did, dude. But I mean, it's not surprised. You know, his type of personality, that kid right there. You know, the second, you know, I'm sure he had lost 1 week, and then his just confidence, his interest, absolutely wavered. And it's showing now.
More surprising that Josh B passed me or called me Brian.
I guess that Josh B passed you, to be honest.
I mean, it's a dead heat, literally.
It is dead
like,
heat.
He just has one more win, and like I have one less loss.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy though. Kind of crazy. Hopefully it's a good week though. Let's just say that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, like hopefully Riley. I'm sure probably if he's not playing, like that's more
should kick
better
him
for
out,
you, dude.
honestly.
Honestly, we probably should, dude. Give it to someone else, dude. Hand the team over. So
Give it to Zach.
honestly, give it to Zach. That would be great.
Yeah.
Zach will be all over it, dude.
But yeah, I have to say that does surprise me. Wait, what job did Riley get? Did you say that?
He's a GA now for the grad program that Mike and I went to.
Oh, okay.
So he started, I think July 1st is when he started. So he's been in the area. He's got a new apartment in Bridgeport now. He's living it up, dude.
He's sneaking on to Fairchild Wheeler.
Definitely sneaking on, probably bringing on beers and alcohol and doing all types of tomfoolery, dude. The pen with Riley. Oh, dude. Packing a few zins as well, probably.
And Josh B says he was in last place. Don't forget, which is true.
Josh
he
B
has
was?
rallied. Yep, he has rallied. Hopefully, the Yankees will rally and win a game today and score some goddamn runs, Tony. But we will find out tomorrow. We will do a full recap tomorrow,
Oh,
and
yeah,
we
dude.
inch day by day, second by second, closer to those opening tee shots at Carnoustie on Thursday. Can you contain the excitement, honestly?
I can't right now, dude. I'm trying so hard. It's tough.
You're gonna find yourself getting into it though.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna be talking about it. So
Yeah.
definitely, dude.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. But once again, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay and Costume, the merch at downtowntv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go, Yankees!
Let's go, Mets!
And we will see you.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.